Hello, Nick here. Got a new radio. New to me anyway. So if you're following along with any of my other videos, you know that I just got in a shipment of 4 radios from Switzerland. I bought them off eBay from a guy in Switzerland, and it took 3 weeks for him to get here. 3 of them were Grundigs. I did a video on one last night. Beautiful radio. Thank you very much, guys. I got a lot of nice comments on it. Thank you. And that radio's working great. After giving me a heart attack for the first 2 hours I owned it, go back and watch the video and I'll tell you, I'll explain it if you're curious, but literally I had horseshoes up my butt. Okay, it was, oh my God, but it worked out. It's fixed, it's fine. So I also alluded to the fact that, so 3 of them were Grundig, and I said one of them was something else, and it was by a car stereo manufacturer. Now, I'm sure Blaupunkt does other stuff too, but me being a simple American consumer, that's really all I know Blaupunkt from, is making like consumer type radios for cars. I didn't even know, maybe they made desktop, like tabletop stereos. I didn't know they made multi-band shortwave radios like this. I did, but then again, shortwave in Europe, especially back in the 1970s, was huge. Because in the United States, it wasn't nearly as popular. In fact, all the videos I watch from guys that are doing videos from Europe, England, or anywhere in Europe or something like that, they got tons of stuff on their shortwave bands. Even today in 2024, in the United States, man, it's getting thin. I mean, yeah, I can get the same religious station, on 10 different signals in the same band, but Reverend Freak Show gets kind of old. Okay. Anyway, this is a Blaupunkt, and it's called a Supernova. And the dude that was selling the stuff from Switzerland had this advertised as well. And I'm like, oh, that thing looks so cool. And the way the Germans incorporate all these multifunction switches and the way they do the stuff, which we'll check out. I'm like, yeah, all right, I'm in. I'm a player. Ship it. It was a couple $100. Okay, so anyway, got it, and it works great. You can, all right. So it's got I got a nice antenna. I only have it out that far just to get an FM reception. I'm gonna clip my Wellbrook lead to it for shortwave. It's got this AC cord, plugs in the side. And I got it plugged in, and I had to use an adapter because it's an EU plug-in, a European Union plug. That's what I call them anyway. So I had to get an adapter to plug into my USA house plug. And then I had to flip a switch from 220 to 110. And no big deal. It's right there. In fact, all these German radios I got from them, they were all set for 220. You just flip the switch, boom, you're rocking at 110. So this radio, and you got to remember, even before long wave started dying out, the United States never really had long wave commercial broadcasts like Europe does. And I think there might even still be a few commercial stations on long wave. I always hear, when I watch somebody from, Britain or Europe, and they're talking about station 196 or station 42 or something like that, and it's like a BBC broadcast, or maybe it's a talk show, whatever. So they still got that stuff over there. We never had, I'm not aware that we ever had that here, unless we could pick it up from over there. And then all these radios, even this one, unless you select an external antenna option, the ferrite bar is the only antenna in portable mode for long wave and medium wave. Maybe even the marine band, MB, they call that the marine band. And then you could connect an external antenna to work with shortwave. I know on the Grundigs, if I hook up an external antenna, it also works on medium wave and long wave. But this one requires a special plug to do that. So does the Grundig, but the Grundig makes it easy on you. It's just a little square receptacle that's super tiny, and anything conductive that you can stick in there, then you just clip your lead on it. You just clip an alligator clip on it. So this takes some kind of special, yeah, I ain't got nothing for it, and I have no idea what it is. So we've got long wave, medium wave, marine band that goes from the top of the medium wave band up to 4.5 megahertz. Then we got a U, that's the European, maybe your German designation for FM. All right. I don't know if it was just the Germans that used U or if maybe all of Europe did. I don't know. And then K, that's their German designation for shortwave. So in the US, if this was an export radio, that would have said FM and that would have said S or SW. So long wave, medium wave, marine band, FM, and then if you hit K, that throws you up here. So each one of these correspond to what goes across. And then if you hit K, you get thrown up into here, and you got 6 shortwave kind of spread bands, especially the top 2. Then they start getting slightly more crowded as you go down, but very usable, very friendly for the shortwave bands that were very popular back in the 70s. So again, these Europeans, Germans mostly maybe, they do their homework. Not like freaking Zenith that crams the whole shortwave spectrum, the whole HF spectrum into, a 4-inch band and says, get your magnifying glass, boys. Good luck. Yeah, thanks. Anyway, so there's a knob on the side to watch. See, there's an indicator there. 4, 5, 6, 1. So there's 6 of these. And you select the one you want by going around. This is a fine tune. K-loop, I found out, means fine tune for these bands. Doesn't work down here. A cool thing, FM presets. So this also has an AFC. The U1 button is actually the AFC button. So you turn it and it'll change to red. See that? Changes to red. And then these are the 3 presets, and you push it in to activate it, and then it's got its own little tuning dial or tuning condenser, whatever you call it. And so you can tune the 3 presets to whatever you want. And then I think either U1, if you press this in, U1 pops out, which means now you can't tune normal FM. You can only use these. This only becomes active for FM when you push this one. If that makes sense. Tone controls, bass and treble, on-off button, and then volume. Volume is actually a dual switch. Now, I'm on the AC power, so the radio is always lit up, and it's lit up very nicely. Way better than any Grundig. It's lit up very nicely on power. On battery, if I was to unplug the power, you have to press this, and that turns the lights on. And when the radio is off, switched off, if you press this, let's try it. You press this and it will read the battery power. See that? All right. And then on. So let's just do a little band scan action. And I just thought this radio was cool. So I thought I'd share it with you.
The Wealth and Passive Income Expo.
Obviously, we're on medium wave.
Learn to retire in 5 years or less. Gain one-on-one access to realtors, lenders, property and asset managers,
which is using a ferrite bar.
National syndicators and trade professionals. Learn from thousands of
the red
and expert wealth educators
matches the red for the K, which means shortwave.
investing and more.
This does down here. This does up here.
That's Expo to 88007. 88.
See if you can improve this running game. You would have used it by now. It is really, really bad. They have barely 300 yards rushing in 4 games.
Online at floorsforlesstx.com. Floorsforlesstx.com. Why pay more?
The left to make fun of you online. That's it, prayers. Well, listen. Answer to me about that. You'll have to answer to the Almighty. And I can't.
There's not going to be anything between 1.8 and 4.5 right now. It's only about noon Central Time in Dallas. So we'll go right to FM. I'm trying to read this through the camera lens, and it's not easy, so...
Find out more at VerizonInnovativeLearning.com. Verizon, helping power greatness.
So I like to leave AFC off unless I need it to hold on to a weak signal, because it's hard to tune. If you put the AFC on, it wants to lock onto a stronger signal, and then it'll hold it forever, and you can pass right over a weaker signal.
All day. I'm tuning in every morning and evening since I was a child. I love the quiet, soothing voices of the announcers and the knowledge they share about the music and composers. And of course, I love the music itself. It's been a huge relief to know that...
Eastbound Beach Street, Tarrant County, Fort Worth. We do have an accident, left lane, stop
These
and
German radios always sound real nice.
12 Walton.
Well, let's try the
southbound between
presets.
Bauer over to 356. Got an accident, left lane.
Are going to get better as the
So
season
that's
goes on. We all keep saying it.
96.7.
Yeah, you sold something and earned that money. Then
105.3.
we have paid the house off with that money. Oh.
And I forgot what I set this one for. There it is. Oh, it was a real weak station. NPR 90.1. But it's really weak. So, yeah, maybe, I don't know, maybe that's not getting it well or whatever. Anyway, so obviously now I see this. Or I probably better right here.
The referees are calling.
Watch, I turn the tuner.
Way aware about
Nothing
how they're
happens
calling the game.
because
Just
it's
be better and
override.
not make it.
This overrides it.
Quite often out there on the
I push this now, will be off signal. See that? So that's how that works. And then obviously click it, twist it, red pops up, AFC on, black, AFC off. All right, let's try shortwave real quick. Now, to help us, I've got my Wellbrook terminated in an alligator clip, and I'm just going to clip that onto the antenna. All right. And where are we going to find signals? Probably up in the 15s maybe, so that would be number 4. So let's use this one. Sometimes there's a Reverend Freak show at 13.8. There they are. You can see the dial alignment on this it's off. 15 WWV, and it's really bugging my OCD. And it's that much off everywhere. 5, 10, 15 megahertz, all the same. I'm half tempted to get my caliper out, my mitutoyo caliper, and measure from the pointer to the center of the 11 and then try and take this thing out of the chassis and move the pointer like I did on that one Grundig, just to satisfy my OCD. But I'd be an idiot to do that because this thing's working absolutely perfect. But it still bugs me. And who knows, maybe I'll have a couple of drinks and say fuck it and try it and I'll ruin the radio. Who knows? Anyway. Yeah, there's really nothing out here at noon for shortwave. See, there's WWV with its error again. Damn! I'm thinking about taking this thing apart right now on camera and trying to slide that bar over. I might even just break the glass and go in there and push it over. Damn. Yeah, like I said, there's really nothing out here on shortwave at high noon.
De la NFL, mi Iker despeinado, estudiante, sin dinero. ¿Cómo está mi? La neta, para eso se estudia, Antonio.
Finished project if something goes awry. Promising such a hefty guarantee means the good contractors list has to carefully select only the best contractors with a proven track record of
anyway, I just thought this was really cool radio. Everything works nicely. Nice tuning meter. Sounds good. It's not big. So let's try and I got a Grundig right next to it here. Let's try to show you size comparison. Okay. So this is the Grundig 6000, another one I got from Switzerland. I'm gonna do a video on that tonight. Works very nicely. It's a beautiful radio. So, but notice how much smaller this one is. Yeah. So anyway, I thought you guys might get a kick out of this radio. I sure did. And I like it. And you can just feel the difference in the controls between the German radios and like an American, even Sony's, even though Sony's were made in Japan back in the 70s, the Panasonics, Zenith even, the controls, all right? Some of them were better than others, but even let me try and describe it this way. Even if the radio was turned off and you start manipulating the controls, the dials and the switches, you can feel the difference in the quality of the components that make that switch or knob or dial or whatever. Just by the way that it moves, how much free play or flex is in it, the way it snaps into position, up or down, the way it engages if you push it and lock it, the way it turns, the way, again, it's probably my OCD just coming through, but that makes a difference to me. I like precision, all right? That's why I like to play with guns, all right? Certain guns, nice guns, all right? And feeling the precision in them. So anyway, this is a pretty cool radio. So that's it. I'm gonna cut you loose. Stand by for a video on that one tonight. And then there's still one more to do a video on. It's the one that superseded. So this is a 6000. This was replaced by a 6001 for 2 more years, which is almost literally identical to this. And then the one that superseded that was called a Model 1000. I got one of those too, so I'll do a video on that maybe tomorrow night. It looks almost virtually identical, but there are noticeable differences. Anyway, all right, thanks for hanging out.